What's up, YouTube? My name is Dell, and this is Dell on Movies. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back to hang out with me once again. I just wanted to share my quick thoughts on Lightyear. I just got home from the theater not that long ago. I had a little bit of time to think about it, maybe not as much as I should, but I'm going to do this anyway. So, if you're unfamiliar with Lightyear, it's based on it's basically a spin-off from the Toy Story franchise. It's based on Buzz Lightyear, but it's not the toy. It is actually the movie supposedly that Andy saw back in 1995 that made him fall in love with the character of Buzz Lightyear. There are some things in there that make that to be pretty much impossible, but we'll let that slide. So overall, I had a really good time with it. Um, it was quickly paced. It didn't drag out long. It got to the story pretty fairly quickly, and it worked overall. If I'll get into a little bit more specifics without getting into spoilers because I don't want to do that, especially if a movie just been out a week or so, and I know a lot of people haven't seen it. Um, so for the things I like, and the first thing I want to talk about is the animation. The animation was really good. I really enjoyed the look of the movie, particularly when there's a lot of chaos. It was all rendered excellently. When things are flying around the screen, filling it up, it looks it's a pretty good looking movie. The human characters, they're on the cartoony side, but that's purposely, but they did a really good job with most of them. Um, so I don't mind that one bit. The humor was on point for most of the movie. One particular character got a bit annoying at times, but I get why they were doing that. I get where they were going with that, so I didn't bother me too bad. Another thing is that the relationships between the characters was done well, even though it was kind of in a shortened time frame. So it didn't stretch out too long, but the way it was handled, you can tell the bond between certain characters, and that really helped later in the movie. So I thought that they did a really good job with that. Um, and finally, as far as there were some references to a lot of other things that might have gone over the heads, might go over the heads of younger viewers, or if you're not familiar with a lot of just a lot of things that in pop culture that have gone on for the last since 1995 and even before that, to be honest with you, because one of the earliest references that I got, one of the earliest gags was really a Star Trek reference from the original series, and I got it. I giggled at it. My daughter was with me. She's only 19. She's never watched the original Star Trek series, so it just flew by her. It didn't make her any difference whatsoever. So those things though don't detract from your enjoyment of the movie. So that was a good thing. It wasn't so many references that the movie gets lost in them. It uses enough of them to keep parents and maybe some older viewers on their toes. You kind of look for some things from here and there, or get surprised when some things show up. But they do a good job of that. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch. There are some things that I didn't like. The main thing that I didn't like, and again, I'm trying not to spoil it here, but when we find out there's a big reveal, let's do it this way. There's a big reveal in the third act of the movie, and when that reveal happens, it feels like a plot hole, or at least it feels like you're going to get a better explanation than the one they give you. And I realize that I am not the target audience, even though, like I said, there's a lot of things in there for me. I'm not the target audience, but that feels like we're talking down or just pretending that the audience is not smart enough to understand what's happening, and I don't think that's the case for even for young kids that are in the target audience. When I say young, I mean in that 7 to 12 range. You know, younger kids than that, they'll probably ignore it. But if you're 7, 8 years old, it's something you can notice and still ask the question about and wonder why. And we never got a good enough explanation for it, I think. And that was it's a pretty big detractor in the movie for me, because we just never get that satisfactory answer for it. And it's something that is important to the entire third act of the film, to the film as a whole, to help deliver the film's message. Um, but we, like I said, we just don't get a really good satisfactory answer for it. So that's really the biggest thing. The other thing is that from time to time, sometimes just references to the original Toy Story don't quite line up. But again, that's a me thing. That's probably not for most people, and definitely not for the younger fans that would go to see this. Uh, so all in all, though, it does work, and I talked a bit about the message just a minute ago, so I do want to come back to that. The message of the film, it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy one, and in fact, the entire time I was watching it, again, I'm not going to get into specifics or spoilers, but I will say that it reminded me a lot of the Lego Batman movie as far as what the movie was trying to say. Um, it did a pretty good job of it, but it felt like something I have seen before, and it didn't feel like it went as in depth as a lot of Pixar movies tend to go, and it didn't deal with anything as hard as some of the Pixar movies try to do. Even the Toy Story movies, for instance. But they did have a message in mind. The movie was focused on that, and it carried it out, and it did it in a fun way. So I really would recommend Lightyear. Had a good time watching it. I'm not a person who's big on grading movies or giving scores to movies, but if you twisted my arm and you asked me, I would say out of 10, I would probably say a 7, possibly a 7.5. But so it is a good movie, just a flawed one. If you guys go to see it, or if you've already seen it, let me know down in the comments how you liked it, or if you didn't like it. Again, let's just be civil down there, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.